Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Silent Hill Shattered Memories, with Sybil basically off in the middle of fucking nowhere. Basically, we have to explore this little cabin in the woods and just have a bit of a wander, really. Yeah, so I wonder what sort of mystical finds we'll see here in the, well, a bit of the outskirts of Silent Hill. We rarely, well, I mean, we do kind of, in a couple of games in the series. I'd say it's mainly just Downpour, Silent Hill 2, and, no, not Homecoming, Origins, if you could count that, kind of, whatever. Anyway, if there is anything I can say about this segment is, well, it's mainly going to be down towards the phone mechanic, and in terms of, some of the changes that we'll be seeing, such as, right here, which I will point out after we listen to this little phone message.
Damn it, Mom. Why do you never pick up? I need you. I'm at a party in the woods, but I'm feeling uncomfortable. I need you to come pick me up.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why you don't go out partying, kids. Well, unless, of course, they're with people you trust, and presumably not people who will fucking stab you in the back, like I presume the people at this party did to this girl. And well, if you're gonna be looking for the results of what happened to her, well, yeah, we might just be seeing a bit of that. But yeah, this segment is, well, again, much akin to the first earlier segment, you know, where we just arrived in Silent Hill. This is the crux of the gameplay, these three different modes: exploration, the nightmare sequences, as the game officially calls it, and of course the therapy sections. Again, at this point, there are no Rorschachs, no other things to find, like, you know, the specters, whatever, so just wander around, have a bit of an explore, and just pick up mementos and, you know, just have a bit of a wander, really. This is also the part in which I think gameplay does change up. Well, okay, for the most part, this is where gameplay changes up the most in terms of what you picture in the psychology sessions, and also in terms of what you make Harry out to be based on, you know, what you examine in previous parts of the level. So, again, as I said at the beginning of the commentary, your experience really will be defined by your choices in the game. And there is one coming up, actually. I'm trying to think, actually. I'm just trying to stall for time here, actually, because my editor is lagging, which is, of course, a no too common occurrence if you've been in this channel for, I don't know, the past 5 or 6 years or so. But again, like, I don't know, like, I mean, these segments, while you might say that they might be lacking in overt horror, akin to what previous Silent Hill games had, I will say that they do pack a bit of an atmosphere of their own. Helped doubly so by the Akira Yamaoka musical score for this game, which, yeah, this was actually his last Silent Hill game before, I believe, either he left Konami or he left, or he just decided to stop creating music for the series, really. A bit of a shame, because I think Akira Yamaoka's score, especially for the Silent Hill series, was actually quite, you know, it was fantastic. I will say that Homecoming was his weakest attempt, but with Shattered Memories and, well, the sort of musical scoring that I think he gave this game, I'd say he left on a high note. I wouldn't say Shattered Memories really compares to games like Silent Hill 4 or Silent Hill 1 in terms of overall, like, soundtrack appeal, but Shattered Memories is a pretty decent way to end his tenure on the Silent Hill series. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. There are actually plenty of places to explore around in this place. Again, you're only really going to be seeing a fraction of it, but keep this as a bit of an incentive for you to pick up the game and explore around for yourself, because you can be seeing quite a lot of things, notice quite a few details, and again, in lieu of having, like, you know, you press the X button and you'll get a bit of text displaying the character's thoughts. Again, if you examine items by looking at them, Harry will actually vocalize his internal thoughts, which again affects his, you know, psychological state of mind, which will affect gameplay. So, yeah, it's a sort of a weird thing in the sense that, I guess kind of in a similar way to Shenmue, really, where gameplay and story are kind of intertwined here, and in a bit of a synchronous fashion, I think it actually works to this game's benefit. So, while you might generally just be seeing something of a walking simulator, I will say that the gameplay has a lot more depth than I think you'd really see on a surface level. And it is why I would recommend that you pick up Silent Hill Shattered Memories, because it is a very intricate game, if you are willing to invest in it, and again, like, it's part of the reason why I get really excited about this one. There's a lot of things left to uncover. But yeah, for the time being, we're just sort of exploring around these cabins. Cabin in the woods. Is that movie any good, actually? Like, I've been meaning to watch that Cabin in the Woods movie for years, but I never got around to it. I don't know, I guess I heard a lot of people liked it, or at least liked it based on the time it came out, I guess. But yeah, you can also use this time to search for mementos, like a movable feast. Is that a reference to something? Because, like, I know the cigarettes were called, like, Hemingway, and... Is it, like, a... What does that even mean, really? A movable feast? Like, if I have a knife, is it to do with, like, the fact that you can kill your prey, and therefore it's like a whatever. It's probably some obscure nerd literature referencing. Either way, the point is, I'm going to be calling my knives movable feasts from this point forward. And again, like, I mean... Again, you're going to be hearing the phone message quite soon, so again, I think I'll probably save my thoughts for a little bit after that, but there is quite a bit of dynamics to talk about here, so, you know, for the time being, I'll just stay silent.
Harry?
Officer Bennett? What's going on?
I'm looking for you. Where are you?
I'm in some woods.
What made you run off, Harry?
Run off?
Harry.
I need to find my daughter. Christ. I'm not under arrest, am I?
Harry? You're worrying me. Think this through. You need to come with me.
Sorry, I'm heading back to town.
Wait, Harry, don't...
By the way, I'm not under arrest, am I? Harry, you silly sausage. You are obviously under arrest, and Sybil is, coming up with the SWAT team to take you away, and, let that be a little hint as to how Sybil can change, depending on your choices. But again, that wasn't the phone message I was talking about before, this was the one I was talking about, and this is what I'm going to talk over. Yeah, the phone messages can change, actually, quite a fair bit, depending on your choice, actually. One that I seem to remember getting on one of my previous playthroughs was this. Like, there seems to be, like, two friends, like, going out hunting together, and, you know, this guy, I guess, kind of complaining that he has to shoot a deer or whatever. In another variant of this message, it's actually a little kid whose father is ashamed of him for not being able to shoot a deer. Kind of a strange juxtaposition, but yeah, that just goes to show how things can really change depending on your choices. So again, like, I mean, if you are, interested in, like, some of the finer details, like flavor text and all that kind of thing, these phone messages can change up quite dramatically, and that also goes for the previous call as well, with the girl who was uncomfortable at the party. Like, that can actually... Like, again, it isn't much, but it does change the context a little bit, to fit within your choices throughout the game, so... I don't know, really, like, as I said previously, like, it's a game that if you're willing to really get into it and you're willing to invest, you'll get a lot out of your game time, so... You know, it's provides a bit of intrigue on that front. And I suppose at the same time, if I can suggest anything else, it's also the sort of game where you might be thinking that compared to other survival horror games like the Resident Evil or Silent Hill games of the past, that this seems a little bit casual, for the lack of a better phrase, but... Again... This does also give itself a bit of a precipice in the sense that this could allow for casual gamers, or people who don't play video games very often... People who don't play video games very often to get a bit of a taste for what Silent Hill is all about, and, you know, just get invested in the series that way. So... Yes, what could this be? Shadow Person, wait! I believe that's actually meant to be the Shadow Memories version of the, oh... Well, it seems Mr. Freeze is back, and now we are back in the Otherworld. By that I mean the Nightmare sequence. Yeah, I believe the shadow creatures that you're seeing, particularly with that girl who just ran away from the bloodstain, yeah, that's meant to be the Silent Hill Shadow Memories equivalent of the Larval Stalker, I believe. For those of you not unsure of what I'm referencing, it's basically like those little shadow babies that you saw in Silent Hill 1, that just sort of roamed around the school, triggered your radio to go off, and just sort of disappeared. Well, before eventually turning into the ghostly versions of the Grey Children in the Nowhere portions. So, yeah, in this game, they're completely non-threatening, they won't attack you at all. But, yeah, they're basically just there for plot reasons, really, and a subtle hint as towards who exactly is a character of the game. And, this is probably where you'll see my disorientation coming in the most, because, Well, I mean, it has been a while since I last played Shattered Memories. Remember about the point of the Silent Hill Downpour commentary. As you can tell, I suck. So, yeah, prepare to see a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted talent, and, well, ostensibly me abusing the flares whenever I get to them. Now, to go into detail with the Rorschachs, actually, their appearance can actually change depending upon your psychological, you know, what you pick during the therapy sessions. Like, I mean, again, they might seem like naked, featureless creatures at this point in time, but they are also susceptible to be changed based on, you know, what you pick. Like, I mean, you know what, I think I'll probably leave it until you actually see the results for yourself, but I mean, rest assured, their design does change. Like, in terms of attributes, they don't really change that much in terms of what they do for, you know, the sake of horror or anything. I think it would have been cool if maybe some of their behaviours would have changed as well, but I guess that might have been a bit too daunting for a team desperately trying to develop for, you know, the actually no, 2009, the Wii would have been like 3 years old by that point. I guess maybe the Wii probably couldn't have been able to handle that kind of thing. Certainly not the PlayStation 2 or PSP as far as AI is concerned, so... Again, you know what, I'll save that for later, because I want to save development history for when it's relevant. But yeah, that's our destination, and we gotta hurry, and like, I mean, like, this might not seem particularly scary, but like, I mean, when you're in this situation yourself and trying to get to your destination, tension does ramp up a little bit. I guess maybe it's just sort of the whole incentive to not fuck up, otherwise, you know, gotta do all that progress again, but still. You'd be kind of surprised at how the Rorschachs ramp up the tension, despite the fact that they just want to give you a friendly little hug and just stop Harry from doing what he needs to do. You know, to find his girl, Cheryl. Yeah, I mean, at the same time, though, there is also a bit of a caveat in terms of the game's overall design, in the sense that, you know, while you are desperately trying to find the exit, the same could be said by the fact that you can't defend yourself, and again, I think I brought this much as well in the Silent Hill 2 review, in the sense that not being able to defend yourself doesn't make your game scarier, and this I will agree with, because, again, like I mentioned it tacitly in the in the previous parts, actually, but yeah, the fact that Harry can't defend himself makes him a bitch. I mean, you can only really just shove him away, but I mean, it doesn't really do anything to solve the problem, and you would have thought that with a flare in his hand, Harry would have gotten the creative means to go, you know what, stab, burn you to death. Or at least to arm himself with like a plank of wood or a steel pipe or something, but no, the dude never gets the idea, and it's a bit frustrating. And like, I mean, I get the psychology behind it, especially when you remember that this game in particular came right off the heels of Silent Hill Homecoming, which was critically lambasted for being a Silent Hill game with heavy combat emphasis, which, you know, not a lot of people really liked. So, I mean, it does give you pause for thought as to exactly what the game is about, but I'll save my tongue on that for after this little phone message.
I'm on the phone, damn it! Yeah, I'm taking us back early. This is not my idea of fun.
Mom!
Not now! I'm on the phone! Can you take care of this?
Mommy!
Go show your daddy! This whole trip was a bad idea. It's making me crazy. Nothing but trees, logs, and my family. I'm trapped. Feel like I'm suffocating in here, Diane.
I won! Mom! I won!
Shut up, or I'll smash that stupid thing! Give me a minute, Diane.
That's a bit of a spicy meatball. We'll be getting into that a little bit later. This is also our puzzle. Would you believe that we were playing a horror game if I just showed you this? But yeah, I was also listening to the message again, because again, you need to listen to the sounds that the little girl was playing, and you will solve it. So, chicken go cluck cluck, cow go moo, piggy go oink oink, how about you?
Sure. Sorry about that, Diane.
Mom, look!
What now? You've broken a glass. Is that blood? Oh, Jesus.
That sounds like somebody who's more concerned for that broken glass that probably cost her a fortune, more so than it does a mother who was really concerned for their child kind of, you know, bleeding. But yeah, this does tie into the story, and well, you know what, like, say what you will about the post-Team Silent Era games, but there is a certain degree of reality to Silent Hill Shattered Memories' plot, and one that is, well, again, I don't really know how to say this, but it's one that's actually kind of, discomforting to know that a lot of what it deals with is mainly to do with, again, family, relationships, and well, the sort of psychological effects that, you know, you don't really pick up upon in childhood, but stuff that, you know, once you hit your adult years and you really start to take note of that fact and you look back, you start to think, holy shit, that really fucked me up. And, well, again, I'll stay my tongue on that. In the meantime, we're being chased again. And, of course, we have our flare that will save us again, as we know. Well, not really, because, I mean, it's just a temporary invincibility. I should really do something with that, actually. Maybe an invincibility theme or something. I don't know what franchise I'll use for that. Maybe Crash Bandicoot or something. I don't really know any franchises that... Yeah, you know what, fuck it, I'll figure it out later. In the meantime, yeah, just run away! I forgot what I was going to say with the previous point, but again, like I said previously with the phone messages, that message in and of itself can also change, like the mother's tone actually does harshen or become considerably more concerned depending on how you play things, so... Again, like, I mean, every little or major detail can completely change based on your choices, and... It's this aspect of the game that I can't help but love, man. I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but... Truthfully, it just adds a lot of dynamics to the gameplay, and... Well, again, it just makes a lot of fun to experience time and again. And not to mention, like, I mean, given the nature of Silent Hill, alternate endings, that kind of thing, it gives you more of an incentive to actually go back and play through the story again, much more so than you'd ever get with a game like, say, Silent Hill 2, which has fixed cutscenes, and while the things you can choose to be different to unlock the different endings is palpable, it's nothing on the same level of Shattered Memories, which does go out of its way to make the storyline dynamic each and every time you play. I mean, obviously there are a finite amount of choices and a finite amount of dialogue, obviously, but I feel like unlike other games like Telltale or The Walking Dead or whatever, it goes out of its way to at least make things feel, you know, fresh and unique each and every time that you go back and re-experience the story. And now we're finally free of the nightmare, and it's, daytime-ish. Grey skies and foggy winters. Fantastic. And again, I didn't really say that whole sort of, like, growing up with the whole high school family teenage angst drama idly either, because as you're about to see here, and with the upcoming parts, yeah, it kind of ties in with the original vision for Silent Hill Shattered Memories, and, well, basically one of the core themes of this game. Let's just take a listen to the message here. You might be quite surprised.
Stop it! Please, or I'll tell my dad!
Your dad? Your dad isn't here right now. Come on, you've been leading me on all night.
No!
Hey, come on, babe, you were asking for it, now show me your titties.
Ugh, fucking hell. I mean, you know what, I say that in jest, but I mean, there have been a lot of people, especially in the fucking high school years, that, said that with complete fucking legitimacy, and... Well, let me just say that, yeah, it's a bit too close to home for a lot of people, I imagine. Ugh, Christ, especially girls as well, like, fucking hell, man. But anyway, that's a little bit uncomfortable, and as you might also be, well, as you could possibly be hearing, over my commentary, the phone also does act as a pseudo, like, radio kind of thing, similar to that from the Canon series, in the sense that, you know, it'll beep and reverberate, depending on how close you are to specific plot-related items, but... Yeah, it's not quite in the same way as, like, you know, the main Silent Hill series, in the sense that it detects monsters for you. Well, I mean, it kind of does, but, you know, not the way that you would really expect. But again, I'd say the phone that Harry has here compared to the radio in the other games is a lot more useful, but now that we've seemed to have arrived at the Midwich High School, I'm going to be signing off for this part, so on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on the Silent Hill Shattered Memories commentary, we will be exploring the high school. Catch you later, dudes and dudettes, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Officer?
I've been trying to get through to you. You had your phone turned off?
No, I guess the reception was out.
Mr. Mason, you okay?
Yes, I know where I am. I'm at the high school.
Midwich High? In weather like this, the gym is sometimes used as an emergency shelter. I want you to go there.
Emergency shelter? Well, maybe Cheryl was taken there.
Yes, go to the gym. Wait there for me.
I'm going. But if she's not there, I won't wait. I just can't.